1. Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about things women should know about men on their first date. In fact, if you're watching me on YouTube, you probably see I'm actually looking at my phone here because the reason for this episode is, well, obviously we've just discussed what we're going to be talking about, but this is 90% absolute horse shit, what I'm about to call out. Guys, there's this lady here that she's read an article in the Times. I won't mention what Times it is in the world. It won't get anybody in trouble. But it's somewhere in the East, right? Now, the thing is, I've never even heard of this paper. Okay, so we're not about the big Times around the world or not the New York Times. No, all right? But this is ridiculous. Now, this actually came up in my Google News feed. I don't even pay attention to articles written from this side of the world, and it came up on mine. So you know what? If it came up on mine, I can't even imagine who else it comes up on. And even worse, I'm scared to death that women are going to be reading this horse shit about men. And you're going to be making all sorts of judgments, ladies. I hope to God. Look, I know everybody's got a mind of their own. But, in fairness, some of us can read an article every now and then. And we say, well, that's a good point. That's a good point. So, we can take things on board. But, oh, God, ladies. Oh, God, this is horrendous. Now, okay. Before I actually get talking about this, I'm going to tell you about a humiliation I just experienced there a little while ago. Today, actually, believe it or not. So, here's something for you ladies. And you guys out there, actually, really, but mainly for the ladies. There's a lot of women out there that have got very, very high standards. I asked this girl out on the street. Okay? I recognized her, from Tinder. I've seen her on there. I've seen her on Bumble. So, we live in the same city in Cork, in Ireland. And I literally saw the exact girl on the street, right? And I was just walking past very casually. She was actually looking at me as I was walking past. I was looking at her and I was like, whoa, Jesus. And I was like, oh my God, that's the girl from Tinder. And she's gorgeous. Absolutely drop dead fucking gorgeous, right? Now, she was looking at me. I don't know. Maybe she's just recognized me from Tinder or maybe my social media stuff or podcast. I don't know. But either way, I was like, huh. So I didn't think much of it because it doesn't mean that she's interested, right? But I mean, it could be that she's interested. So anyway, I decided to go back. And I went up to her. And I just said to her, I said, hey, I know you, right? And I wasn't sure, to be honest. I was about 99% that it was from Tinder or Bumble. But actually, I said to myself, well, fuck it. Maybe I met her before in a bar. I don't know. So I said, hey, I know you, right? And she literally looked at me like a mute. She just nodded her head no. Actually didn't open her mouth. I went, huh? I went, yeah, but have I met you before? Right? We've met before, right? And I was even thinking, actually, the more I looked at her, because up close, I was like, I fucking do know this girl. So anyway, again, she replies, just nodding her head. She didn't even open her fucking lips, right? And I went, Jesus Christ. And I'm not joking, you guys. I actually thought she was a person that is it you call it a mute, that person that can't speak? I actually, honest to God, thought that, Jesus, maybe she is somebody who can't speak. Oh my God, what the fuck am I going to do here? So I said, Peter, as in I pointed at myself, hey, I'm Peter, right? As in, do you remember me now? And then she just takes out her headphone out of her ear and she goes, I don't know you. I went, okay. And she gave me this unbelievable worst look I've seen in a long time. Now, I have an approach that if I don't know a girl, I would go up to a girl on the street, right? And I wouldn't normally open with that approach. Not at all. Okay? But I actually did kind of think I did know her. Right, so it was a different approach. So, but so still, the worst she could have said was, "Yeah, look, sorry, no, I don't think we know each other," and even if she wasn't interested, hey, just look, hey, look, sorry, look, you know what? I'm waiting for my boyfriend or waiting for my friend, but thanks anyway. she could have brushed it off nicely. It still would have been like, oh God, oh, fucking hell. But still, would have been a nicer approach. That was actually the worst experience I think I've had ever talking to a girl on the street. The worst. Like, if somebody was actually there watching up close, you would have went, holy shit, what is wrong with this one? Like, this woman, genuinely now, and girls, by the way, I'm not known as a sleazy guy, okay? I'm a nice fucking guy. There's no sleaze that comes from me at all. I've got quite a bit of charm, to be honest, right? Doesn't mean I was charming in that one, but certainly not sleazy. And I wasn't drunk. I didn't have a drink in my hand. I wasn't trying to grope her, touch her, right? So, like, but like afterwards, I literally went, Jesus. Like, I didn't try and touch her. I didn't try and fucking go really close to her. I didn't try and fucking, hey, baby. I didn't say any honey or baby or nothing like that. Just straight. And the response, I was so shocked by the response that I was thinking that I fucking did something wrong. But actually, really, she's a complete and utter bitch, right? Now, look, there's assholes out there too, ladies. I get it too, right? 100%. But, wow, that was, almost, actually, it was kind of humiliating, to be honest. I felt stupid afterwards for about 10 minutes. No, it was actually humiliating, yeah. And it was for about 10 minutes. I was like, oh my God, what the fuck did I do? But anyway, but I'm okay now. But the point is, guys, is that, look, I've actually spoken about this on my social media, my podcast, a couple of podcast episodes I've talked about this too, that, look, there's men and women out there that you're raising the bar so fucking high, right, that you're putting yourself out of the game. Now, I'm not saying about this girl, okay? But it kind of reminded me about some girls that I've spoken to. Like, for instance, guys, I do obviously my podcast and social media, and like I've had girls come up to me in bars and they've asked me about a couple of things about guys and this and that, and they're like, oh, I wouldn't like that from a guy, and you're like, this sort of snobbiness, right? That's what reminded me of dealing with that girl there. The snobbiness. I'm above you, you fucking peasant kind of attitude, right? And believe me, like I said, I know there can be guys like that too, but it just reminded me again of these impossible standards we put on ourselves, that we take each other out of the game. And then all of a sudden, the people that put the highest standards out there, like as in the most impossible dumb standards that you put out there, the higher that the people that do this are the people that bitch and moan about there's no one out there good enough. Like, now, for me, I didn't know if that girl is straight, a lesbian, if she's got a boyfriend, if she's just not interested in me, if she's dating somebody. God only fucking knows. I have no idea, But I tell you now, guys, I didn't go up like an asshole, right? And I would say this to any guy and girl. If you're in a club and somebody's talking to you, like, this shit spreads like toxic crap, okay? If you're an asshole to one person because you don't need to be a nice person, that tells you a lot about yourself, first of all. And secondly, why are you like this? Why? And it's only just going to seep out into your relationship anyway. Why don't you have some fucking gratitude that somebody actually talked to you? Do you know what I mean? Like that girl, Jesus Christ. Maybe she did think I was trying to crack onto her. Now, I didn't tell her that she was gorgeous and I didn't ask for her number. No. But, what's the big deal? I came over to her. So, my point is this. Why are people being assholes to each other when you don't have to be? That's the key. When you don't have to be a fucking asshole. And normally, it's the people that are assholes to each other, like I was saying. It's the people that are assholes to each other are the ones that bitch and moan that there's fucking no one out there for them. Right? So this sort of snobbiness, guys. And I'm not having to go I'm not even going to go at women here. I'm not even going to go at men here. I'm having to go at both here. Like, you can be a bit of a bad boy, the bad girl and there's a bit of a chase. That's cool. But general manners, guys, like, ladies, if a guy comes over and talks to you, take it as a fucking compliment, okay? Because one day in our lives, we're going to be old, we're going to be ugly, we're going to be God knows what. So you know what? Take it as a fucking compliment and just politely tell him to go away. And I'm not about just me now, I'm not about, in any certain scenario. So, oh God, it was so frustrating for me there. But hey, you know what? And you know what I'm not going to do? And I've said this, I'm almost preaching this. If somebody's treating you shit, the last thing you do is go out and treat someone else shit. You be even more nice to the next person. And you know what, guys? The next girl I go talk to, whether she comes talking to me, or I'm going to talk to her, or I like her, or I don't, I'm going to be fucking extremely nice to the next person. Because I'm not going to be spreading that toxic bullshit that this fucking girl does. God, I'm actually getting wound up the more I talk about it. but I'm speaking the truth. I'm speaking the truth. It's important, guys, to fucking... And, even if you're young and you're listening to this and you might think it's cool to treat somebody like shit. Really? Because normally the people that treat others like shit... Well, I wouldn't say normally... there's a lot of people that will go out and treat people like shit because they see their friends treating people like shit. Okay? So they've got it from someone else. And then, you know what, actually, yeah, well, Mary now, she's very cool at treating guys like shit because she's gorgeous and hot and she's all the men all over her. So then it's a cool thing to do? Yeah. Yeah. See how you last there now. Wait until you see how you fucking last being a bitch, okay? Or a guy being an asshole. Doesn't last very long. Alright? Okay, well, my God, it's 12 minutes in already and I haven't even started talking about this. Good God, I could just do a separate episode on this one. Fuck. Alright, so let's move on, guys. So I hope that was informational anyway, or maybe entertainment. Right, so we're going back to the article here. So guys, look. What I want to talk about this here is this person who wrote this article, right? Again, we'll just call out the heading. The heading is Things Women Should Notice About Men on Their First Date. Now, I'm not going to slate this person completely because they do have some good points which I actually agree. All right? Doesn't mean I'm right, doesn't mean they're right, doesn't mean we're wrong, blah, blah, blah. But I'm coming from a guy's point of view, and this is a lady writing this article. All right? So, but I'll give her this. She does have some good points. Okay, so we'll just scroll down here now, and let's see. So she starts off and she says, when going on a first date with a man, there are a few things that women should pay attention to in order to get a better sense of who they're dealing with. By paying attention to these factors, women can make more informed decisions about their potential romantic partners. Uh-oh. Oh, God. I smell fucking trouble ahead already. Jesus. Okay. So, let's see now where she starts off. Let's see. So she's breaking it down whether it's to get to know the person better to explore intimacy and vulnerability, or just simply have a fun distraction from a breakup. In other words, a hookup, right? That's what she's getting at. So she's going to break it down like this. Okay, so here's the first one. During the date, pay attention to how the man makes the space comfortable and safe for you. Like, already, I'm like, what? What the hell is she fucking talking about? Like, even every single one of my dates, you'd sit at a table, you sit across from each other, right? Having a coffee or a beer or whatever the fuck, or in a restaurant. If a girl sat up on top of you or a guy sat up on top of you, well, you're going to probably just run to the toilet and go out the fucking door of the place and never come back. So where is she going with this? Like, it's almost like she's setting us up for as psychos here, you know what I mean? Okay, So be easy and don't judge them for initial jitters. No, I agree with that. Look, you can always kind of tell when somebody's a little nervous or their mouth is dry, or you know what I mean. And that's fine, Jesus. So like, you wouldn't be paying attention to their table manners 100% right at the start, because again, they might be jittery and their hands are up and down off the table, and it happens to a lot of guys. Okay, so let's have a look. Remember, the first date is an extraordinary journey, so enjoy the experience and look for positive cues. Whoa, jeez. Okay, I'm in, honey. I'm all in. And let's see. And oh, and by the way, she's a spiritual healer. Okay, by the way, I'm not making fun of spiritual healers, all right? But I just don't see where a spiritual healer is going to be helping us here to tell us what a man's going to be like. All right, so number one. This is the number one on the list, actually. His communication style. It's important to observe how he communicates with you. Is he a good listener? Does he ask questions about you? Does he seem interested in what you have to say? Does he interrupt you or talk over you? These are all the clues to his communication style and can give you a sense of whether he values your thoughts and opinions, and more importantly, does he pull a chair for you to sit or open the door for you? Okay, we're gonna stop right here. We're gonna break this number one note down here. So we're just gonna go back. It's important to observe how he communicates with you. Is he a good listener? Right, well, I will tell you from a guy's point of view, ladies. How the fuck can you tell he's a good listener? Okay? I'm a student of acting. I acted for a lot of years. I don't act when I'm listening to people. Okay? But I know how I can pretend to listen to people just from acting classes. Okay? Like, a lot of people will sit there and pretend that they're listening. A lot. So I would forget about that one, guys. And don't worry about it either. The person either is listening to you or they're not. And you know what? You'll find out eventually anyway if they are, because they'll remember something about you. So please get that out of your head, ladies, about the first date. Is he a good listener now? Does he interrupt me or this now? Okay, does he seem interested in what I have to say? How the fuck are you going to know? Right? Now, she does say, does he seem interested in what you have to say? Like I said, how the fuck are you going to know? Now, yes, she's right. Does he ask questions? I'll give her this. Yes, of course. If he's asking questions about what you do, well then, that's a little indication. Right? Doesn't mean you've got his full attention. He could be fucking thinking of what you look like naked. Alright? Okay? But then kind of tuning in and back out again. Now, by the way, I'm not here to strip it down to nuts and bolts that we're all like this, ladies. So before we keep going here, we're not going to be tearing men down here, all right? But like, you know, I'm coming at from both ends of here, okay? You might think, reading this article, okay, how can I tell if he's a good listener? Now, let's say the guy's a womanizer charmer, right? He might be really good at pretending to listen, and you might think he's listening to everything you're saying. And he's not paying it to one fucking attention to you. He's just thinking of what you look like naked. Okay? Or he could be really good, really nervous, right? And he mightn't look like he's paying attention to you because he's fucking trembling and he's inside his head and he can't fucking relax. Okay? But yet he's the nicest guy in the world, and give him the second or third date, he could be the most awesome guy ever and the most attentive guy the world's ever seen. Okay? So my point is this: don't get caught in this trap about the first fucking date. Alright? He could be trembling inside. He could hide it well. And he might have a look on his face that he's not listening to you, but he's listening to every word you're saying. So I don't get where this girl's coming from. Now, right, let me move on. So, does he interrupt you or talk over you? Well, all right. Well, look, that's a fairly obvious one, that he still might be listening to you, and he just knows exactly what you're going to say. But, I mean, yeah, it's definitely a red flag. I'll give her this one, yes. If he's talking over you, not good. Not good, of course. Okay. whether he values your thoughts and opinion. Does he pull a chair for you to sit or open the door for you? Only a person with high integrity would do such things. No, bullshit. Well, number one, I come from a very classy background. My parents always treated us really, really well, classy. We've very good manners. All the kids in my family, me and my brothers and sisters, brilliant manners. Right? We'd always hold the door open. So that's fine. Excuse me. So, my brother and myself would do that. Now, here's the thing. I know other people who have come from good, classy backgrounds, and they're charming guys. They're a bit of kind of con men, right? I've met these guys in my life before, okay? And, they'll still hold a door open for you, but it doesn't mean that they're the perfect gentleman. Okay? And in fact, even sometimes the con man will be the most polite guy in the world. So you can't trust that either. Because he doesn't want you to think, the last thing the con man wants you to think is that he's a con man. Right? The last thing a con man wants you to think is knowing he's a con man. So he's going to go the other way, the perfect gentleman. So, it can be both, ladies. And I'm not trying to scare anybody here or turn you off dating. No, forget it. Just don't pay attention to these type of things. And these are good things to know, by the way. These are good tools in your armor here, because if you do know that a con man can do this shit to you out there, well, then you'll be more prepared that if something does come your way and red flags down the road with this guy or girl, that you'll be prepared, right? Have all the armor available to you. So, like I said, to round that up, I come from a very, very classy background. I treat people with respect, and I do open doors for ladies. I do. Now, I wouldn't pull the chair. No, I've never done that. Now, I actually think that's a bit much. That's too fucking much. That is way too much. I'll always hold the door open for the lady. I'll always let her walk through first. Yes, but pulling a chair? Jesus, I don't think I've actually ever seen somebody pull a chair in a restaurant before for anybody. Except for the actual waiter or waitresses. So, please, no, ladies. Pulling a chair for you? No. And only people with high integrity will do that? That's total bollocks. Okay? He can hold the door open for you. Be classy, yes. Pull a chair for you. And if he doesn't pull the chair for you, well, that does not mean that he's not classy, alright? Fucking hell. Excuse me. Okay, his body language. So his body language is number 2 on the list, ladies. Pay attention to his body language during the date. Is he making eye contact with you? Is he leaning in to listen to you? Does he seem relaxed and comfortable around you? These are all signs that he's enjoying the date is interested in getting to know you better. Who fucking wrote this? Who is this person? Seriously, is she 5? Pay attention to his body language during the date. Well, okay, we've covered that already, right? The guy could be trembling with fear and nerves, okay? But he's trying to sort of to hold back from it. And by the way, you know the way people say that, body language, if people fold their arms, that's not a good sign? Actually, apparently, according to some studies, that actually has nothing to do with being defensive or hiding some information, right? Apparently, it has nothing to do with it. So there's people over here telling you that, then there's other people over here telling you that. So the point is this, ladies, please, don't be getting too caught up in this or that and fucking, he's done that now, so that means it's this, right? So the guy could be trembling with fear. And he's tight. His arms are folded. His legs are crossed at the same time. He's kind of leaning away from you a little bit because he's just terrified. So please don't pay attention to that either. Now, is he making eye contact with you? I mean, yes, look, I agree to an extent where he should be making eye contact with you, right? Of course, Jesus. Now, maybe, again, look, he might be really fucking nervous that he looks at you and then he sort of looks away because he's like, oh my god, she's so gorgeous. I don't want her thinking I love her. You know what I mean, ladies? So don't pay attention. Now, if the guy hasn't looked at you all fucking date, well then there's something exceptionally wrong. So, just lighten up on that one as well, all right? The eye contact. He could be trembling. And you know what? The confidence charm man who just wants to fucking bang you on night one, right? He'll look you straight in the eyes without even looking away once for the night, probably, right? Until you go to the toilet and he's checking out the waitress just 2 tables over you from me. So don't be paying to that. Now, then there's people who are just confident. They can look you in the eye all night, no problem. Again, the point is this: you don't know. Okay? And this is not a fucking sign that the guy is... Jesus. Okay, so... Is he leaning in to listen to you? Well, what if the music is fucking loud? Like, if the music's fucking loud and he can't hear you, he's going to lean into you, I presume, right? Of course he's going to do that. So, like, that doesn't mean anything. If he's leaning in to listen to you, like, if it's a very quiet... Like, what if it is a quiet bar or restaurant you're in, or a coffee shop, right? And you can hear, like, fucking the crickets outside almost. If he leans into you, you might think it can be a bit weird, right? So, depending on the scenario, like, you'll know yourself. Okay, so, and she finishes off with her number 2 point. These are all signs that he's enjoying the date and is interested in getting to know you better. Oh, fucking bullshit. All right, we're number 3. Number 3. His attitude towards other people. Now, this is where I kind of agree with her now, I have to say, more now. So she says, notice how he talks and treats people around the place, like waiters, guards, etc. Always remember, people who do not treat such people nicely, they cannot be trusted at all. Like I was saying about that girl today, Like, and here's where I do agree with her. Like, there was no need for that girl to be a bitch today. No need, But some people want to be. And I do agree with her. It does tell you a lot. It does tell you a lot about the person there. I would absolutely agree on that one. It doesn't tell you everything. But, yeah, it can certainly tell you a lot. Now, remember this, though. The confidence charm man can also be extraordinarily excellent with the waiter around you as well. He could be excellent around you. So, again, but yeah, definitely, if the guy's a prick to the waitress or the waiter, well, yeah, I'd get the fuck out of there instantly, to be honest, because there's no need to be like that. So this is one area now where I definitely can agree with her. Okay, so what else do we have? So how he speaks about his family, especially his mother. Yes, I agree here. But again, you see, on a first date, like, the guy could tell you anything about the girl. Or, about his mother. Right? And let's turn this around. Let's not slate men here now altogether, right? Because, hey, I'm one of them. A girl could say anything about her dad or mum as well to a guy. Both men and women can bullshit each other on the first time. So you can't tell on that one. I don't know where she's getting this. And a real man will talk unabashedly about his fondness for his mother, and that instead of making you feel insecure, should butter his admiration for the women in his life. Well, yeah, I mean, like, I love my mother to bits. She's my best friend. And you know what? Like, she's like almost my soulmate, I have to say. I'm being honest now, guys and girls. But I wouldn't go out and talk on a date about my mum. Like, unless it comes up. Unless it comes up. And then I'd say, oh yeah, I love mum and we always get on. We get on so well. Like, if my mum comes up in the conversation, then I'll go on about her more. But I'm not going to bring her up to kind of, hopefully now she's going to like me if I talk about my mum. Because that can look like a fucking sneaky ploy too, right? You know? So, it just depends on the date and seeing what happens, I guess, you know? Okay, let's move on. Does he put his phone away through the date? All right, well, I'll give you this one. Yeah, she's right about this one. Like, unless you're looking for an actual fucking important phone call or message coming in that night, leave your phone in your fucking pocket. You know? Like, I wouldn't go near anybody that had just staring at their phone all night. That would drive me insane. Absolutely insane. And in fairness, there's been a couple of times where I've gone on a first date, but I've told the girl beforehand, I said, listen, I'm expecting an important call around this time, which would be about an hour and a half into the date. And by the way, guys, if you're listening to this, or any ladies, I would suggest this, that, you know, if it is a situation where you're meeting somebody at 8 o'clock for a date, but you're going to you could hear some news about your business or something at, like, let's say 9:30, 9:45, right? Tell the date in advance. Okay? Tell the date in advance. That's what I would do. I've done that before. And at least, you know, you can put your phone away until then. And then check your phone afterwards at 9:30. Even put a fucking alarm clock on for 9:30. So then you have your phone on the table and you're just keeping a quick eye on it. Yeah, there's an idea. But, you know, if you're trying to get lucky for a one night or actually a relationship here, staring at your fucking phone all night is not going to help anything. And I've been on some of those dates where, Jesus, bad, very bad, not good. So, let's move on. Adding to the list, we have this. Adding to the list of notice on your first date, I won't say the name, co-founder of some company, recommended. Oh, here we go. First thing a woman should notice about his man is how well he can make eye contact with you, as it shows confidence. Yes, I agree. I agree on that. But then again, he could be the confidence charmer con man. Or back to the point, the really nice guy that you'd like to be comfortable with, he might be looking at you, looking away, so no. So I agree and disagree there. Okay, pay attention to his nails and hair. It reflects his hygiene standards and indicates that he takes care of himself. Yeah, like his nails. Okay, like it depends on his work. Like, what if he's a construction worker? Like, and in fairness, I'll give him that because, like, I know guys that used to be mechanics or are mechanics, and you know what? They're doing it 5 days a week, and like sometimes they're just knee deep in fucking grease every day. That they'd have to wash their hands for like a week straight to get them like completely and utterly clean. And I don't mean like they're coming across disgusting, you know what I mean? Like they've got the thick skin and the dirt can sometimes get under the skin, you know? I can't even believe I'm talking about this, but like, what if he has one of those type of jobs? You know, he's out cutting fucking trees during the day, or he's a gardener. You know, he's probably got cuts all around his nails, or God knows what. You know? Now, I get it. If he's got black nails, because there's just dirt underneath, well then, oh, Jesus, he could at least now wash them before he came out. Totally understand that. His hair, well, yes and no. Like, what kind of hair does he have? I mean, maybe he just has a bit of shitty hair, a good hair. But then again, I suppose, do you know what, for that one, maybe that just comes down to what you're attracted to. Maybe it does. Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, there's a couple of more points, but they're actually a bit they're useless. Excuse me. So, look, to round up, guys, the point is this. Whatever you're attracted to, like, I just wanted to break all this down for you today because, please, if you're looking, and I'm here to help for the one reason, is that please don't judge. I guess, actually, it just came to my head. Please don't judge a book by the cover. Okay? I know we all know that saying, but it actually only just came into my head right now. I knew what I wanted to say to you, and maybe I should have thought about that beforehand. But don't judge the book by its cover, because he could be, and just remember this, ladies, all right? Excuse me. This is now coming from a man, me personally, who used to fuck around on women when he was younger. And I mean fuck around, and I didn't give a shit, ladies. Okay? Until I learned, and until I grew up, and I did. And I always treat women with respect now. Well, at least I think I do anyway. Okay? Or maybe not. But look, I have learned a hell of a lot. A hell of a lot. And end of the day here is that the con man can be out there. The nice guy can be out there. The nice guy, like if you like a guy that opens doors for you going into a restaurant, you could have the con man, charming guy who wants to just bang you on the first night, but he'll tell you anything, right? He's so confident that he knows to open every single door for you, okay, and all that. Whereas you could get the really, really nice guy who's trembling inside, this kind of the quiet, nerdy guy. He could be the nicest guy in the world, nicest boyfriend. I mean, like the dream guy. He just has a problem maybe in his head that he's nervous. He's a bit jittery. He hasn't been on a date for a while. And he forgets to open the door for you. Okay? Like, I'd give people a little bit of slack. This is my point. Give people a little bit of slack on the first date. Now, sometimes, no question, we know on the first date. As in, ho, I never want to see that fucking dickhead again. We know. But, if you've got a situation where, I really liked him, but you know what, I didn't like that he didn't hold the door open for me. Do you know what I mean? And you're talking to one of the girls, which is understandable. You're kind of going, God, and I really like a man who holds the door open because, your dad used to do it, or, it's just whatever it is, right? My point is this: I would give it a second or a third date on that, in that respect. And because maybe he is that quiet guy, and maybe that's exactly why it happened. So, I hope that helps, ladies. And please, 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 if you read articles like this, don't take it as the Bible, and I'm sure you don't. But I do know, look, I've been guilty of it too, where you'd read a magazine article about something and you're like, oh yeah, that's interesting. But I would certainly never take it as Bible, And, give guys a break. And look, there is some con men out there that know how to tick every box. There's some nervous guys out there that don't tick all the boxes on the first date. And then there's actually the nice guy out there who does tick the boxes, who is confident, and who is genuine. All right? And one last thing, actually, I just remembered this. If you're going on a date, and whether you want something or not, as in if you want something serious, or you just want to hook up, whatever it is, and you're a man or a woman, or whatever you are, or whatever you're looking for, I honestly recommend, number one, you should put in your bio what you're looking for. Now, if you don't, well then maybe it's come up in conversation before the first date. And if you do want to find out what the other person wants, I would suggest you tell them what you want first. Okay? So the difference is, excuse me, so the difference would be, don't ask them straight out, hey, by the way, what do you want, John? Right? If you want to ask John that, tell him what you want, and then follow up with, so by the way, and what do you want, John? Because then at least, it's a good way to sort of to make sure that people are going to be honest. Because you've committed to something there. Do you know what I mean? If you've told the truth, well, hopefully you're telling the truth. If you've told the truth, maybe John or Mary, whoever, will tell the truth then. And at the end of the day, if you're looking for a hookup and the other person isn't, well then you've just you've just saved loads of time. You've just saved loads of fucking time. And maybe you are a good con man, actress, actor, that you can literally, pretend that you're looking for something, and then all of a sudden you have sex and that's it, it's job done. Well, hey, off you fucking go. But you know what? Karma's going to come around and bite you in the ass, motherfucker. So, anyway, guys, I'm going to love you and I'm going to leave you. And thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!